But I am proud to be here myself to sign this piece of legislation, and I want to thank the legislature for working with me to finally pass, a long-term solution that will allow ride-sharing companies like Uber, like Lyft, to operate everywhere in Pennsylvania. This bill puts an end to any question about these companies operating in our Commonwealth, and especially ends questions about their operations in Philadelphia. And that makes sense. Makes these companies welcome here in the Commonwealth and allows them to become full partners in the cities and communities they operate in, while also protecting consumers with background checks and thorough vetting for drivers, making sure we're doing all we can to keep riders safe and secure. The Commonwealth has proven itself to be a place where companies like these can invest and grow, and we must continue to find ways to fuel the developments of these and other high-tech companies, because innovation in transportation is extremely important to all of us, especially here in Pennsylvania. And my administration is committed to making sure that companies that want to invest here, companies that want to grow here, have all the tools they need to thrive. Ride-sharing companies are already investing heavily in Pennsylvania. Uber, I think as you all know, has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in the Commonwealth and recently chose Pittsburgh as a hub for testing self-driving vehicles and as its worldwide headquarters for advanced tech research. Lyft has provided over 4.5 million rides to users across the Commonwealth, and since 2014, and that allows riders to have access to safe and reliable transportation, which is provided to them through over 25,000 drivers statewide, over 70% of whom identify as minorities and a third of whom are women. In addition to the income that thousands of Uber and Lyft drivers earn themselves sharing rides across the Commonwealth, Uber has also hired several hundred employees for its Advanced Technology Center in Pittsburgh. These companies have shown that they are committed to the Commonwealth and the unique aspects that make our state the place that it is and the place that is really attractive to companies like Uber and Lyft. This bill shows that we are committed to them and makes sure that they no longer face the legal obstacles to providing a service that our citizens want. In Philadelphia, the resolution of this issue will also, and this is important, will also be good for our children. In my first 2 years as governor, I have worked with the legislature to secure over $640 million in funding for education, additional funding. 97 million of that went to Philadelphia. This is going to be good for those schools because, as you know, 2/3 of the tax revenue received from ride sharing in Philadelphia will now also go to the school district of Philadelphia. And this funding will put more resources in the hands of those educators in Philadelphia. So it's a win, this bill, for Pennsylvanians and for Philadelphians and Pittsburghs, every place, every community across the state. And I want to thank the legislature for partnering with me to get this bill done. I especially want to thank Senator Barlotta and the Philadelphia delegation, especially Senator Vince Hughes, who has truly been a champion in Harrisburg for the city of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia School District. I also want to thank the next speaker, the chair of the Public Utilities Commission, Gladys Brown, for her work in helping shape this legislation. And I'd like to turn this podium over to her. Gladys, thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I do want to thank the governor for giving me an opportunity to say a couple remarks about this bill. As you know, as a regulator at the Public Utility Commission, we have been very anxious to see legislation passed on this issue. In 2014, we at the PUC started working on the issue of transportation network companies here in the Commonwealth and the operation of them here in the Commonwealth. And we noticed that their platform did not fit neatly within the framework of the statute that we had before us as it dealt with transportation to consumers for compensation. So we started the process because we were very interested and had a desire to allow for this new innovation and competition into the marketplace, and wanted to be able to grant them a license to operate in Pennsylvania. What we did have available to us in our regulations was a license for experimental service, and that's what we did in 2014, providing that license first to Yellow Z, then to Uber and Lyft, the main TNC companies here in Pennsylvania. After that, in our orders, we made sure that we addressed many of the issues that you heard the governor talk about today, the consumer protection issues in terms of the driver integrity, the inspection of vehicles, background checks, things of that nature. Also, the appropriate insurance levels that were needed for this new type of innovative transportation. Once we issued all of that in our orders and put those protections in place, our next responsibility was then to come to the General Assembly. In terms of our experimental service license, it was only issued for a 2-year period. That was the length and the time period established in our regulations. So with that, we knew we had to talk to the members of the General Assembly to assist us because we wanted to make sure that TNCs could continue to operate here in Pennsylvania. With that, we've worked closely with the members of the Senate and the House. When they drafted legislation, our staff was available to provide them with technical service, technical ability to be able to look at the legislation and inform them of any concerns that we would have. So we're very happy today, and we do want to congratulate the members of the General Assembly that are here and those that have worked on the bill, Senator Bartolotta being the sponsor of it, for all the hard work. But I also want to thank our staff at the PUC who worked very hard on this legislation, and thank the governor as well for signing it today. Thank you.
Senator Hughes.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much. Well, it's always good to be in a room like this with Governor Wolf. It's especially good to be in a room like this with my buddy Gladys Brown, who I worked for a number of years when she was Deputy Chief Counsel over in the Senate Minority Caucus. I want to thank everybody for working together. I want to, compromise is always difficult to achieve. The members of the Philadelphia delegation in the Senate had a lot of interest, but a lot of focus on this initiative, working with my friend, the head of the Philadelphia delegation in the House, Representative Donatucci, Maria Donatucci. We all worked together to try to pull and go in one accord in terms of what it is that we wanted to achieve out of setting the framework, if you will, for TNCs to operate across the Commonwealth, but especially in Philadelphia. I would be remiss if I did not mention some very significant staff work by a lot of folks to try to pull this together. And just on a personal note, a big shout out to Tony Machowski from our office for being relentless on this issue of making sure that we get a few dollars extra for the Philadelphia School District. As you know, and the governor's exactly right, our fight to get more money for public education usually takes on a lot of different platforms, this being one of them. If we can get more money to come in to that district to help kids with grade level reading, to help kids get on par at graduation levels and things of that nature, we will have achieved something significant. And our thanks to the Uber and Lyft folks and the TNC companies in general for being willing and ready to participate in that whole effort. It's a good day, it's a good start, there's more work that needs to be done, but it's worth driving up to Harrisburg on a Friday morning, Governor, all right, to make this thing happen. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. And next, Mr. Chairman, would you like to come up and say a few words to Chairman Godshall?
Thank you, sir. And I personally want to thank the governor for inviting me to attend today's signing ceremony, giving me the opportunity to make a few brief remarks. When transportation network companies like Uber and Lyft appeared on the scene, it changed the way people traveled in both urban and rural areas throughout the Commonwealth. There have been bumps along the way, but Pennsylvanians have almost universally embraced the TNC service model and have demanded a law and authorizing their permanent statewide operation. Senate Bill 984 does just that. It creates a comprehensive framework for transportation network companies' operations throughout Pennsylvania and contains necessary consumer protections to ensure the TNC service is safe, accessible for everyone who wishes to use it. Today represents a culmination of nearly 4 years of negotiations, deliberation, and debate, and I could not be more pleased with the final product of this bipartisan piece, and I emphasize bipartisan piece of legislation. Senate Bill 984 received unanimous final approved passage in the House and passed the Senate with a single negative vote. I don't know where that was, Senator Hughes, but It was there somewhere. We would not be here today if it not for the dedication and effort of the members of the House Consumer Affairs Committee and my counterpart, Representative Daley, who's here with me today. The Philadelphia delegation of the House of Representatives, the Senate, and our staffs. I particularly want to mention Beth and Amanda from the Democrat and Republican staffs. I would like also to thank all those who worked tirelessly to get this bill to the governor's desk, and Governor Wolf particularly for signing it today. The people of Pennsylvania are the beneficiaries of this legislation. Thank you.
Let me just introduce Representative Maria Donatucci, but I also want to echo the chairman's good words that we actually can get some good things done here working together as we did on this bill. So thank you. Good comments. Maria Donatucci.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm pleased to be here today with Governor Wolf for the signing of Senate Bill 984, known to most as the Uber bill. Sorry, Lyft. It's been a long ride, but we finally arrived. No bill is perfect, and this one has been 2 years in the making. I remember back in March sitting at a table with various stakeholders when I said, nobody will walk away with 100% of what you want, but you'll eventually get what you need, and I thank Mick Jagger for that. After months of negotiations and a lot of give and take, we are here today. TNCs are legal and will be regulated for the safety of consumers and drivers. The PPA has funds to begin the regulatory process. The taxi industry feels they've been put on even ground, and the School District of Philadelphia gets a new and reliable source of funding. The rest of the state will benefit by allowing new business the chance to grow and prosper. I want to thank Senator Bartolotta for this legislation, along with Senator Hughes for his leadership, Chairman Godshall and Daley, their staffs, especially Amanda Ramsey and Beth Rosenthal, leaders and staffs on both sides of the aisle, especially Marcia Lampman, along with the stakeholders who helped make Senate Bill 984 a reality. And I also want to give a shout out to my ED, Ryan McEmoyle, who worked along with me for this bill. This is proof of what we can get done when we all work together. It is a momentous day in my book. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to sit there. I think let me have Senator Hughes sit there, if you don't mind, Madam Chairwoman, and I'll sign the bill. And then I'm going to come back and we'll do a second bill, and then I'm going to answer questions all together, if that's all right. So let me do the signing.
It's Pete Daly's fault.
I'm just doing what I'm told. Okay. All right. So let's. Okay, look out there.
Okay.
Look out there. Well, this is the fourth, right? Here we are.
There you go.